What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in for this episode of Stupo Spotlights. Today we are going to take a look at Inscryption. Inscryption is a wild game. The single player story is very different from what you'd be expecting, but I'm not going to ruin any of that. I'm not going to show you the main game. We're going to jump into this thing called Casey's Mod, which is something you unlock after you beat the main game. And this is going to be how I'm able to show you the base of the game without any of the spoilers and the craziness from the main game. So, this is just going to be how the game works. The rest of it is going to be, I'm not going to spoil the ride of the single player, or the main game for you. I'm just going to show you how the core concept of Inscryption works, and then you can go on the ride yourself. So it is a roguelike in the sense where you spawn on a little map, there's different events on the board, the bloodstain is where you're moving next, go to the event, different things happen. This guy's a trader, so if you have these cards that are pelts, they're kind of useless at the time, but then when you make it to this NPC, you can trade them for better cards. It's very much a card-based roguelike, so the cards have different abilities and stuff, like this one with the tail and the lizard on it. He'll move out of the way of an attack, and the tail will stay on its place to block. The guys with the fins are waterborne, so when it's not your turn, they flip over so that they can't be hit on the opponent's turn. The skull means that they don't die, even if they do, they'll just respawn on the board. The little red droplet means you have to sacrifice a creature to be able to put these guys into play, and then the bones take a different currency is basically what it comes down to. The spike here with the 1 is thorns, the little triangle in the sundial, and then the arrow means that after a turn, this character will change into a different character, and then it'll move along the board. And then the left is attack, the right is defense for everybody. So, never hurts to go through River Snapper. He's got 6 health, it's a really good defense. So, the bonfire is one where you can up your health or power of creatures. This is the backpack, it'll get you items, and this is the wood carver, which will help you make a totem, but it takes 2 pieces to make a totem. So, we may as well go make a totem, eh? So a totem needs a body, which is the effect that it's going to grant, and then the head for what it's going to affect. I'm going to grab the flying body, that way we can make something else fly later maybe, but in the meantime... Alright, so this is going to be the first fight, so I'll actually be able to show you how the game breaks down. So when you're playing with this character's deck and set, and that sounds funny, but it would make sense if you played the main game, you basically throw down squirrels or other creatures if you can, and then you use them to pay the blood cost of these creatures, right? So we'll play the Stoat. Here, that's all we have the mana for, so we pull our 2, ring the bell, everything attacks. So now we can grab that, run down, stack the both of them, and throw him there. He'll still attack, but I guess that was a misplay, but whatever. I should have put the bullfrog there. So sacrificing for the blood lets me put them in, everything attacks. It can hit the flyer, but it won't be able to defend against the flyer. Squirrel, ring the bell. So we've pretty much won this fight. the arrows back there where he would put the cards that are coming next, or he just put his hand like he knew. So he doesn't really have anything coming, and he only has 2 left. We're going to sacrifice all 3 of our creatures to play the shark. The scale on the left, it goes back and forth, but basically you win by doing 5 damage more than your opponent has done. So right now he's sitting at 3 damage to me, so I actually need to do 8 damage to be able to win. And that's why the scale's on his side, but the shark will tip it back pretty quick. So to use an item, just flick on the joystick here and it'll go over here. I have pliers, which help you, they'll give you a point of damage on the scales, and then the squirrel, which is, it'll just go in my hand and I can play it like that. But we're just going to play patient. And there's 7 damage. Any excess damage he'll collect in the bowl, and then you can use those teeth, is what they're called, to trade with the trader that we saw in the beginning. Not that guy. That guy was the trader. The trapper you can buy pelts off of to trade with the trader. So here we're just gonna pick cards, hit square, and switch them out. I like the mantis, because the mantis hits more than 1 lane. So the one behind it there, the skull with like the bird thing coming out of it, that means that he'll have a totem active. So let's go do it anyways. We'll grab the item out of the bag and then we'll go do that one. Blackout's always a good choice. So he throws down the totem, so his ravens or birds are going to move and push other characters out of the way when they're doing it. So let's be speedy about this. Throw down a wolf here, then when the egg comes, we'll smash the egg. He won't get that raven. Plus we go up 3 damage off the hawk here. Oh, he moved it just like... Man, I thought... Nope, that's my bad. I'm silly. Anyways. So, do you think he's gonna transform, attack, then move? Or is he gonna move, then attack? Let's run the risk. Oh, it doesn't matter, everyone. Card here. These are all like heavy cards, except for the sparrow. Keep the moose buck though, because we do have the black goat right now. Home a creature by the fire, enhance its power. Said the hungry survivor. Yeah, if you don't, this is like a gamble, and you can go more than once. They might eat it. A couple more fights here. But this is the core of Inscryption. The main game that you actually go play is pretty intense, not gonna lie. I started playing it and it just hooked me so bad. I almost played it non-stop until I finished it. It wasn't super long, but you do get this mode with the challenges and everything so that you can just keep playing. It's just a really good game. I cannot recommend Inscryption enough. The card part of it is very fun. but the whole story that you do and the way that the story is presented is just very unique, and it was a thrilling ride. I very much enjoyed it from start to finish. I would highly recommend that if you somehow manage to watch my video here first, don't watch anything else, because it's going to spoil it all for you. This is the bare minimum that can be shown without spoiling any of like the single player stuff. Like the only way you can show this is if you beat the game, because anything from the main game would be spoilers for you. So if you found this video, congrats, you get to see Inscryption without having any of it ruined for you, and it's probably one of the only videos that's going to do that for you, not going to lie. Alright. Stoat and the squirrel, drop the wolf on the front one, and we'll hit him for 6 here. Perfect. Let's go see Trapper, I guess. This is where we trade in our extra damage. So we've managed to do 4 extra damage. So he gives us that pelt, and then we can take a wolf pelt. So now if we get back to the trader, we'll be able to trade the rabbit and the wolf pelts for cards. And often the cards will have added like sigils, which are the symbols along them, like the blocks flying, the waterborne, the multi-strike, the pusher. So what we're doing here is we're going to sacrifice a creature and give its sigil to somebody else. So we're going to do that with the mantis, and we can give the mantis to the great white. That's incredibly powerful. Ooh, this one's life. Up somebody's health. Let's try it with the stoat. Yeah, right on. Nope, we're not gonna risk it though. Run away, run away. Just before I fight the boss, because I think I'm gonna end the video after I do this little boss fight. One of the things I will tell you that is not really spoilers, but a little spoilers, is that you can stand up from the table. Let's just leave it at that. So the candles are lives. When you do boss fights, you always have only 1 life, so it's either you win or you don't. As you can see, the boss is going to have 2 phases, so we have to beat him twice. Right. So these strange frogs, when you kill them, they're going to drop that leaping trap you see on the right hand side there. And we'll use this, and we'll use the flyers. Oof. Okay. aren't that bad. So I think I only have one pelt, so I get to take one of these guys. None of them are that scary. Let's take him. Let's get them up on the field. So Blackout, it may only be one creature, but the 3 blood means that if you sacrifice it, it counts are up to 3. So that's how we can get the wolf into play here. We'll play a smackdown on the creatures. Their back row, move up, and then we're gonna win. And it's just that easy, guys. Gives me back my life for winning. We get to pick a card for having beaten the boss. Take rally. And then it's on to the next one. So that's all I'm going to show you for the game, to be honest. That should be enough so that you know like the core of Inscryption. There is puzzles and stuff like that outside of this core card game, but this card game is what you're going to do for the majority of the main game. It's not quite like a tabletop like card game like Magic or anything like that, because the opponents aren't really using decks per se. Their loadout and like what they do is predetermined, and they kind of do the same thing every round. So it's up to the RNG on your side to get you the cards that you need to be able to beat that kind of puzzle. I don't know. It's a little different, but it works. It absolutely works. The matches are super fun. The whole game is incredible. Do not sleep on Inscryption. Go play Inscryption, guys. But that's going to do it for me. I hope this helps you decide whether or not it's worth getting for you. I will say that the single player campaign is different from what we just did, because there's a lot of narrative and story being interwoven throughout the game, but it's not how you're thinking. Let's put it that way. It's very different, and it's worth checking out. If this video helps you, I hope you like it and share it with your friends. If you want to do me a favor, subscribe to the channel. That's how we can grow it and get this thing, showing other people some good games, right? Alright, thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you on the next one.